Hello and welcome to the first video of my Nearpod tutorial. When you go to nearpod.com, you're going to see three boxes down here in different colors. The red is for students. They put the code in here, and they can once they put their name in, they will be joined into your lesson. The next is for teachers, and the purple is administrators. I'm going to just talk about teachers at this moment. So teachers log in. I usually log in with Google, and it automatically takes me to my home page. Now this is your library or your home page. It's all the lessons that you've saved, and the lessons could also be in folders that you create. Folders and lessons can be created here in the plus sign on the top right. Lessons could also be created down here. You can create lessons in Google Slides or using Nearpod, and I'll talk about that in my next video. Now, if you want to put a lesson into a folder, you go here to the three dots. Right, you have some options here. Share, this gives you a link or an email that you can email someone. Click a social network link. Even use Remind to share the lesson. You can duplicate the lesson, or you could add it to the school library or to a folder. You can also make the lesson into a PDF, view any reports on the lesson, or delete the lesson. Now, if you delete the lesson, you also delete any reports that you have. And reports are going to be, what did they write, what was their score on the quiz, things like that. Now, to look for lessons, you can search in your library, but these are only lessons that are in your library, and that's right here. But to look for new lessons, you have to go down here. Now you have three options. Nearpod Lesson Library. These are all the lessons created in Nearpod. School Library. These are lessons that teachers have shared. And District Library. It's the same thing, but district-wide. Right here is if you need to join a lesson. Maybe another teacher is showing you a lesson that they're doing. Maybe for like professional development, and that's where you would enter a code. But let's go ahead and let's go to Nearpod Lesson Library. Now here you're also given some options. You can search up here in the search bar for something. You could also narrow down your search by selecting standards, subjects, grades, even resource type. Like if you want to do something with virtual reality or do a warm-up, you could click on those. So let's say I want to do Common Core, ELA, 5th grade. I could also search by strand, and once again, resource type. And then I did accidentally just click clear standards, but you can see that right there, and that gets you back to square one. You could also search for something, so if I'm looking for something like conjunctions, but I want to just keep it to 5th grade, I could click that as well. And maybe I want a virtual reality with it. Well, unfortunately, in this case, there is none with that, but you could use this to narrow down your options. So this shows only 5th grade for conjunctions. Okay, now if I want to add a lesson, I click on the lesson. It's going to preview it for me. You could share it down here. It has the same things that it has before. Previews right here. It's going to show you everything that's in the slides. You could, and then if here's info. Here's related content on the right. And if you click this button, it will add it to your library. And when you click Show in My Library, it's going to show you the lesson again, but now it's in your library. So if you go to Home, you should see the lesson right here. And they give it to you, the most recently ones that you've downloaded are going to be the first ones that you see. So you could preview it, you could edit it, you could do everything that you can with like up here, share it, duplicate it, or you could just go ahead and start it. Now if you do a live lesson, it's going to give you a code for the kids. Now if I want to launch a new one, it'll start the lesson and have the code. You can put that up on the screen for the kids to see, and once they put the code and their name in, they are in your lesson. And what's cool too is if you have to keep going, maybe a kid came in late, well the code's still up here, and they can see that and then join that way. Or you could put it back up like that. And as you move along, it will move it with the students as well. This will hide student names, it'll show you what slide you're on, and this will show you how many people are in that lesson. Now, let's say you are on this slide and you have to move on and do something else, or maybe it's a different class period. Well, you can leave and it will save your progress. So when you go back to live lesson, if you go to this code and you hit resume, it's going to launch it from where you left off. So if you look, it's on the same slide as before. Now, if you want the students to do it on their own, you can go to student paste. This is going to give them a code, and they're going to do the lesson at their own pace. So maybe if you're absent and you want them to do it independently, this is the way you do it. You could also sync it by a link, an email, or in Google Class. And in Google Class, you can go ahead and make it an assignment or an announcement, and kids can access it that way. And that's really all there is to it. If you do want to edit a lesson, it's going to ask you, do you want to edit or do you want to duplicate the lesson, meaning you keep the original. Well, if you just edit the original, it's going to ask you also, hey, if you edit this, then any codes that you have, any progress that you've had in the lessons are going to be gone. So if you're in the middle of it, you don't want to edit it. So if you do edit the one that you have, you can always delete it and find the original and re-download it. But when you edit it, it's going to show it to you like this. You can move stuff around. You can add slides here, add content. We'll talk about activities in another video. Web content is just a URL for the web. These are slides that you might want to add. We'll talk about the other stuff as well in another video. But that's how you would edit it. So you could find a lesson on Nearpod and then add some extra content into it. When you add a slide, so if I add a slide right here, okay, it says you can drag and drop files in here as well. But let's say I want this to be my slide. It's going to be put at the bottom. So you see, this is my new slide. And you can drag it anywhere you want. Or if you don't want it to be at the bottom, okay, you could go in between slides, click it, and it's going to say add slide. And then when you add a slide, it will be in between those. Or you can copy and paste and it will be there. So there's a slide I just added. Now I don't want this, so I can click delete. You can also click the delete button on your keyboard for that too. Alright, and that's it for today. If I hit save and exit, it's going to save it for me. Okay, you can also still preview it. That's it. That's how you can find Nearpod lessons and use them for your classroom. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.